Hey everybody, Jim here. Thought I would check in and I wanted to do a little something different since you guys have been showing me all your work and sending me all your interesting mask images. I wanted to just show you my studio and show you some of the stuff that I'm working on. I'm in sort of the same situation you guys are in with quarantining, and so I thought I'd share a few pieces. This is the one I showed you the other day that I was working on, my big bat piece. Bats are in the news, so I'm sort of thinking about and making bats right now. This is still kind of at the stage where it needs the inking lines on top. The one here beside it is I inked those marks this morning. You can see that those are going to have those little lines filled in black. So, it's sort of part of the process, the last stage where I add my India ink black lines and then fill that in with black. I don't have a steady enough hand to do it just with the brush, so I cheat a little bit with those brush pens. But that's pretty much the way I make all of these. So any of these, like this one right here that you see, I had the India ink brush lines. You could probably even use a Sharpie, I would imagine, and then fill those lines in with black. And I did the same thing with this little guy right here. I finished him last week. Some of the pieces that I thought I would show you because it may relate to your festival project is the ones where I added elements to it, as such as the bells and the beads and the fabric. And some of you expressed interest in adding other things to the masks. I'm completely okay with that if you choose to do that. I think it could actually be really neat and interesting. You can see this guy right here's got all sorts of stuff. Beading. I spray painted old necklaces, actually. And the big hoops down there at the bottom are actually earrings. And then, of course, the bells. So I've got some studs that I screwed into that mask. It is again, all these are paper mache, as you guys know. And the big bell piece up here, which is, I think, the first one where I actually added elements into it. So I'll do it where you can hear it. Always kind of fun, makes it more fun to wear. It lets everybody know you're coming. And oh yeah, there's some chain. I think I got that at Home Depot. And I just added, when I made the mask, I added little holes into it, and it's threaded through the holes. That's not the only way you can do it, but that's the way that I did it. Sometimes I'll just take, like, I think that's like hemp cord right there, and I'll just wrap it around and hang stuff off of that. So if you've got any horns or spiky elements, you could do that. Like those ones up top, I could just pick those up and take them right off. This guy right here was more of a, I wanted to do something that was a little bit more abstract. It ended up being a very time consuming piece, but I think it turned out pretty well. Another thing I wanted to mention is a lot of you are sort of laying paint down but not doing a lot of shading. I thought this piece in particular worked really well. Turned out really well with just adding like a really light, really watered down black wash. And what that does is, instead of trying to cover up all the textures of paper, it actually brings those textures out. I think that could be something that would help a few of you. One of the biggest problems with paper mache masks is they look really, really flat when they're finished. And I found that using that little bit of washed out black paint gives it a texture and a depth and makes it a little bit more, honestly, like a painting, which is what my background is in. So those little pieces right there with the little necklaces coming out, those are egg cartons that I tore apart and then just glued onto the cardboard, or maybe it was Bristol board surface, and then seamlessly paper mache'd it together. So you can use materials like that. Here's another one where I just went crazy with all the different elements and beads. If you have anything like that, feel free to experiment. We got a lot of time on our hands, don't we? So go ahead and use that time to bring it all together. So it's a little bit of a studio tour right now, give you an idea of some of the pieces that I'm working on. I think actually a couple more over here that I'll show you and then I'll let you go. This piece right here, I went with some secret symbol stuff going on here that you can see, and added the bells. And this guy right here, where I used the gold paint that looks a little bit more like bronze paint to me. Some of you guys had better gold paint than I do. Gives you an idea of some of the ones I'm working on. Feel free to check in, show me your work. I really like and actually feel encouraged myself to see what you guys are working on. So please keep it coming. If you have any questions, send me an email. If you want to ever do a video chat, I'm okay with that as well. We can figure out Zoom or something like that. Just let me know. Otherwise, stay safe, stay healthy.